Alright, Ash. I have big news and a lucrative assignment. Argulia has secured military aid from a defense contractor beyond the blockade. They'll be flying in tomorrow and require an escort to get through. Unfortunately, when they chartered the cargo flight, we weren't consulted. Its flight path will take it through a hot blockade zone, one used by amateur runners who don't know any better. We'll be sending in a small flight to avoid detection for as long as possible, but the Coalition will definitely see the cargo plane coming. You'll be up against carrier-borne fighters from the blockade force, and maybe a destroyer squadron or two, depending on where their patrols are. These pilots aren't as battle-hardened as those in the successor states, but they're much better trained and fly modern fighters. We're not going to risk Mystic going out that far, but you'll be flying with Viking. She's been doing this a long time and seen more than her share of dogfights with Coalition pilots. Take her advice and I'm sure you'll do fine.
Viking, do you see us?
Visual. Entering no-fly zone now. Watch our backs.
All Coalition assets. Air tracks detected in grid Foxtrot 4. Can we get fires to BID?
Stoyek is directing flankers to your AO 2 minutes out.
Interceptors to the northwest. Let's take them out.
Unidentified aircraft. This is the aircraft carrier Resolute attached to the blockade force. Reverse course to 180 and exit our airspace. Fighters are inbound to guide you out. Lower your landing gear to signal an emergency. Should you fail to comply, we are authorized to use lethal force under Article 1, Section 8 of the Coalition Charter.
Oriole has eyes on... They're painting us! Contacts on hostile!
Resolute copies. Vectoring our cap on you now.
That's a lot of bandits. Ash, pick them off from the standoff range, but don't get separated from the transports. Stay on course.
think the Coalition will be touching this corridor for a long time.
That's what I like to hear.
Amazing work, pilots. Our informants report that the two carriers you engaged lost so many fighters that they're both being recalled to their home countries.
From the end of World War II until the 60s, the superpowers were locked in a nuclear arms race and maintained a policy of mutually assured destruction. This came to a head in August of 1963. We don't know exactly what happened or who launched first, but the first volleys between Kassel and Poltavia, the most built-up nations at the time, were mostly aimed at military targets. With the world's largest militaries decimated, their allies engaged in nuclear and conventional proxy wars, while third parties took advantage of the power vacuum to expand their own borders. The kingdom annexed and invaded some of its neighbors over the course of the conflict, and never fully integrated them before it fell apart years later. Unable to wipe each other out even if they wanted to, the superpowers reached a ceasefire 1 week later. While an apocalyptic nuclear war was averted, the world was irreparably changed. Seeing an atomic exchange unfold without the massive environmental changes or civilian casualties predicted by political and military leaders largely removed the taboo on their use, and even the kingdom's full-scale nuclear war did little to change people's minds. The superpowers' defanged militaries originally built Angels as nuclear delivery platforms, but over time the term has come to encompass